alpha.
What's up guys, and welcome back to another exciting webinar here on the Sony Alpha universe. My name is Mike Eloff. I am a content creator, influencer, as well as Sony Alpha ambassador based in the beautiful Cape Town, South Africa. Today is part 2 of my vlogging webinar series. We've already covered the basics of vlogging. So in today's session, we're going to be covering quite a bit of really epic and useful information for you. We're going to be focusing on things like intros, camera settings, transitions, in-camera transitions actually, sequences, B-roll, as well as time-lapse, video versus photo time-lapse, everything that you guys need to know. But why sit around here and talk while we're actually indoors? The best place for me to tell you guys about how to do a vlog is in my favorite place in the whole wide world, the mountains. Got my hiking bag, put it on my back. Let's get out of here. All right, we made it to the mountains. Welcome to a beautiful day in Cape Town today. It's perfect for going up in the mountains, perfect for hiking, and I'm excited to take you guys on a little mission to show you guys how to vlog while I go out and do one of my favorite things in the whole wide world. Anyway, to get things started, I think it's very important that when you're starting a vlog, that the intro of your vlog, the first 10 to 15 seconds, has to be really good so that it grips the person that's watching it and then they want to actually continue watching it right to the end. Now, when I start my vlogs, there's a couple of different ways that I start them, but for now I think I'm just going to tell you 3 different ways of how I start vlogs. The first way that I would start a vlog is by putting a little sequence of how I got there. So if you're traveling and you're on an airplane, you can do a little airplane sequence. But for now, for the sake of things, I drove here today, so I did a sequence of me driving here, arriving, getting out of my car, putting my bag on my back, and coming up the mountain. So that would be a whole sequence together, and then it would start off with me whipping the camera out and going, "What's up guys?" and laying the scene and telling people where I am, giving them a little bit more information about it, and then going ahead from there. All right. Another way that you could do it is, say for instance something really exciting happens out on the mountain today. I would put that as the first 10 seconds. So like the last time I came on this hike, I saw these mountain tars. They're like these goats, and it's really exciting to see them because they're very rare. All right. So I would insert that as the beginning sequence, like, "Wow, check this out, just saw some tars," like, or something like that. And that'll be gripping the audience to set the scene for what is about to happen. It's an adventure vlog. Right? Or you could just start your vlog off by walking up here and starting it off by going, "Welcome to the mountains guys, this is what I'm getting up to today," and laying the scene like that. So there's 3 different ways that you can start a vlog. You find what works best for you and you go from there. Anyway, let's move further up into the mountain over here, and I'll show you guys a little bit more about sequences and camera settings and whatnot, but for now let's get to the top of the mountain. Alright guys, let's talk time-lapse and the difference between video time-lapse and photo time-lapses. When I'm doing vlogs, I like to include a little bit of time-lapse into my vlogs because they're really good filler clips or B-roll. It just kind of like, it sets a scene. If you've got cars moving around, it's really cool to watch the cars kind of go fast, or if you've got a sunset, it's nice to watch the sun go down fast, things like that. There's 2 types of time-lapses that you can do. The traditional photo time-lapses, which take quite a long time to actually capture because you've got to set your camera down onto a tripod, set it on intervalometer, take a whole series of photographs, and then take that home and put it together in a computer. And for me personally, that takes quite a bit of time because my computer is quite slow. So what I prefer to do is I prefer to do video time lapses because they are way quicker and a lot easier to actually do. So I take my RX 100 Mark VI, set it up, I switch it on. It's on a hand grip, which actually turns into a bit of a tripod. Make sure it's nice and secure. Put it down over here, lift up the screen. I get my frame. Once it's ready, I just have to hit go. It's already sitting over there on a 4K, and that's how I film my time lapses. From here, I'll take it, put it into Final Cut Pro, speed it up, and I've done exactly the same thing that I could have done with photos, but a hell of a lot quicker. So for the sake of this clip, I'm going to put the camera down over here, and I'm going to get a clip of myself going all the way down to the end of this cliff over here, to the beacon down there, and then come back again just to show you guys a bit of an example of what video time lapses are, because unfortunately we don't really have any clouds in the sky today, which is not unfortunate because it's a beautiful day in Cape Town. But for the sake of this video time lapse, I'm going to show you guys right now. Check it out, let's hit go. Alright guys, let's talk real quick about camera settings, because I think it's very important that before you go ahead and do any kind of filming, that you understand what your camera settings are and how your camera actually operates, and how your settings will play a part in how the people are actually viewing your video or your vlog or whatever it may be. When it comes to camera settings, especially with video, there's something called the 180-degree rule. Now the 180-degree rule is basically there to mimic the motion. So if you move your hand in front of your face like that, there's a slight motion blur. Now that 180-degree rule is there to help mimic that specific motion blur when people are actually watching your videos. So say for instance you're shooting at 50p. Your shutter speed is going to have to be 1/100 because your shutter speed needs to be double whatever your frame rate is. So say for instance you are shooting at 100p, then your shutter speed needs to be 1/200. It's pretty simple. So make sure that you've got that, and that way you'll have the proper motion blur, whatever it may be, when you're filming. The next thing that you can get for your camera is a polarizer. Now what this does is, if you've ever got yourself a pair of polarized sunglasses and you put them on before and looked at something that's got like a sun shining onto it, you'll notice that it removes all of that glare from the sun and it makes it look almost 3D. Alright, so it does the same thing with this over here. So what I'll do is I'll start a clip over here again. I've exposed it correctly. I haven't changed my settings. I have just changed it to my aperture of f10 so that I'm getting more of the scene. And as I'm turning it around over here, you're seeing that the sky over there is losing its glare and it's becoming a little bit more prominent. And if I move it this side, you'll see there's the ocean. Change it around and you see less glare goes onto the ocean. Let's try and change it this way over here, and you can see as I'm moving it around. Alright guys, let's talk transitions. You get two types of transitions. You get the built-in transitions that most video softwares actually have, or you can actually buy some transitions that you can actually install into your video editing software. Or there is in-camera transitions like this one right here. So as you can see, we've transitioned from one clip with one scenario to another by simply putting my hand onto the camera and pulling away. Another type of transition is your whip. So we're going to whip to the side now. And that is a whip transition. There are plenty of other different types of in-camera transitions that you can actually do yourself. So what I would highly recommend is Googling, checking out, playing around, whipping around, putting some clips together and seeing what you can do. But be creative, because the more creative you are, the better your story is and the easier it is going to be for people to follow along on your actual story. Just one tip with regards to transitions. If you're going to be transitioning from one scene into the other, make sure that the colors match. So say for instance you're going to be shifting up to the sky. Make sure that in your next clip you're not shifting up into something that is black. You want to be shifting up to something that's blue, you know, something like that. Also, if you're going to be whipping to the left, don't in your next clip whip to the right, because it's going to seem like it's off. You want it to be a nice smooth flow so that people are constantly wondering what's going to be happening next, and they're glued to the video and they're watching it from start to finish. At the end of the day, that is what you want. You want people to be watching your vlog from the very beginning right to the very end by creating seamless transitions, epic sequences, and just a good vibe. Alright, let's make our way back down the mountain over here, and on the way I'll be going through the last two things that I wanted to cover today, and that is B-roll as well as sequences. So let's go. Alright, let's talk a little bit about why I love shooting with the A6400 as a vlogging camera, especially coupled with this hand grip over here. This hand grip is Bluetooth, so I can actually control it. I can start, I can stop recording, I can zoom in and out as well if I wanted to with compatible lenses. Unfortunately this one is not a compatible lens, but you can zoom in and out if you wanted to. You can even take selfies by hitting the photo button. It'll go 3, 2, 1 and you can just smile. The next great thing about this specific hand grip though is especially when you're out vlogging by yourself and you want to create sequences. So what I do is I set it up, switch on the camera, I flip up the screen so I can see what's going on, and then frame up my actual shot. That's where I want to be coming from. I want to be walking down this little area over here, and all I have to do is make sure that it's focused, hit go, and then run up here. You can even use that clip of me coming up here as a clip coming up, but I want to use this specifically for going down as part of a sequence. Alright, so here we go. That was the first clip. Right? I've jumped over the camera. The next clip can simply be turning the camera around, still recording the same clip if you wanted to, but I'm going to stop this one. It's going to reframe it up a little bit. Start it again, and same thing. Just jump over, and carry on going down. That way you've got moving from one to the next as a nice little sequence. And if you wanted to add in some extra stuff, you can even get nice and tight or set it up as a little side angle. So setting up the camera on the tripod over here, we'll do it real quick. Setting it up to get a little side angle of me running past over here and jumping, so that it all looks exactly the same and you can put them together as a nice little clip. All right, so let's just get it framed up. This is taking a bit of a second. Okay. So we've got it forming over here now. Same thing, just go past, do a little jump, and then you put the 3 clips together and you've got a nice little sequence. Now sequences are really important to help people really follow along with your story. It helps them know what's going on. So now you've just seen me running over here. You saw me coming from the top, going across, filming that angle, a little side angle. It tells people I'm on my way down the actual mountain itself. You could put a whole bunch of different sequences together. Maybe 5 or 6 clips will maybe equate to 10-15 seconds worth of actual footage. And if you put it together nicely, it looks sick. And then you can go into the next little segment where you pick up the camera and you actually start talking to the camera again. Okay, we're almost finished with today's hike. And before I finish, I do not want to forget one of the most important things when you are out and about filming. B-roll. I cannot stress the importance of B-roll. B-roll is there to fill up the gaps that are missing between your cinematic sequences, areas where you're actually talking to the camera, doing some vlogging, and doing time lapses and things like that. Time lapses actually become part of B-roll as well, essentially, but they're another beast on their own, and we have covered that. But B-roll essentially is stuff that you can fill up to make your story flow. So you're up in the mountains, it's beautiful light, and you've got nice beautiful flowing of the wind is blowing in the plants. You know, that kind of stuff is B-roll. You've got a bird flying over there in the distance, that's B-roll. You've got seagulls flying across, that's B-roll. All of that stuff that you can make your video look a little bit more flowy, that is your B-roll. So the importance of B-roll when you're actually out and about filming is very, very important. So don't forget about B-roll when you're vlogging, and make sure to add it in there to help your story really flow. Alright, so that is it for today's session out and about. Let's head back to the computer and I'll summarize everything that we covered today, and I'll tell you a little bit more about what we're going to be covering in the next episode, which is editing. But for now, let's head back down and to the office. Alright, we are back at the office. Let's recap what you guys have learned in today's session. We have learned how to do epic intros. So are you going to start with, whoa, something like that happened in your actual vlog itself? Or are you going to start with a really, really cool sequence as an intro? Then we learned camera settings. What are the best camera settings to use? Make sure that you're always using that 180-degree rule that I told you about, and your footage will always look really, really epic. Then we covered in-camera transitions. Save you having to actually go out there and buy plugins and buy transitions. You can actually easily do it in your camera by using the techniques that I showed you guys today. Then we covered time lapses, video time lapses versus photo time lapses. What's the fastest way to do it? Obviously a video time lapse. Then we covered sequences, how to actually take a whole bunch of clips and put them together into a sequence and make it look really, really epic. B-roll. Do not forget about B-roll, guys. B-roll is very, very important. Remember, it adds in the little fillers where you don't have little extra sections to add in. And that's it, guys. So what I want you to go out there and do before the next session, which is going to be focused on editing, is I want you to go out and use the skills that you learned in today's session to go and film your very own vlog. Then I've got some other exciting news for you. If you would like to go out there and film your very own vlog using the epic Sony gear that I use, then you can go into any participating store and use my very own promo code, which is MikeVlog02, and you can get 10% cash back on any of your Sony purchases. Just remember that this promo code is only valid for 1 month from today, so make sure that you go out there and use it. 10% cash back, there are a whole lot of savings, and you get to buy yourself a whole lot of extra Sony gear as well. And also don't forget to go check out some of the stuff that I personally put out online. My username across networks is @LifeOfMikeZA, and that is on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And before I go, let me just remind you guys one more time to go check out the Sony Alpha Universe, because not only are there some epic webinars over there for myself, but all of the other Sony Alpha ambassadors as well. And that's it from me, guys. Remember, next time you see me, we're going to be talking everything that you need to know about how to actually edit the vlog that we just put together today. So until next time, guys, see you later. Cheers.